transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shu.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and you are welcome to this webinar. In case you're meeting me for the very first time, my name is Shay Agade. I am the Leadership Growth Enabler and the Learning and Development Specialist. I help individuals, I help organizations to discover clarity and become the very best versions of themselves through coaching and training interventions. And this is one of the many interventions that we use to achieve that purpose. Our goal ultimately is to make our world a much better place to live in for everyone, one mind at a time. And this has been a series of webinars, okay? And the title of the series is Strategic Foresighting, and I will be looking at leadership lessons from a particular book called Who Moved My Cheese? Who Moved My Cheese? So that's what it is that we're reviewing. And this is in preparation for a webinar that is holding on the 13th of July. That's just about a week from now, right? On the 13th of July, we will be having a webinar called Strategic Foresighting. And that's very, very key in particular at this time. Because we're living in what we call a VUCA world, right? Which is a term coined in the American military a couple of years back. I think almost 20 years ago. That was when that was coined. And the V talks about volatility. The U talks about uncertainty. The C talks about complex, and the A talks about ambiguous. That's the environment it is that we live in. Things are changing more rapidly than they used to be. And we need to strategically position for it. So when we're talking about strategic positioning, it's different from operational thinking. Operational thinking talks about the day-to-day running of the business. The strategic thinking talks about the future, ensuring that you consistently remain relevant and valuable in the scheme of events over a long period of time. So that's what strategic foresighting is all about. And we will be looking at that on the 13th of July. So if you want to be a part of that, if you haven't registered for that, you may have seen some videos about it earlier if you had joined us earlier. Yep, so if you're going to want to be a part of that, you need to register for that because it's going to be a closed room. Right now, we're streaming on multiple platforms. We're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Facebook. But that particular webinar will not be streaming on those platforms because it's going to be a closed group. We need to have a level of interaction. We're going to have a lot of activities, practical activities, group activities, and stuff like that. So we need to do it in a closed room. That's why you need to register for it. So who are those that the webinar is meant for? If you're a C-suite executive, you are an entrepreneur, you are an employee, whatever it is, so far you're looking to better yourself, to remain relevant, to remain productive and valuable in the scheme of events in 2024 and beyond, then you need to be a part of that webinar. So all you need to do is sign up for that. The link should be somewhere around for you to do that. All right, so in case you haven't heard of that book before, which is Who Moved My Cheese, it's a very, very fantastic book. There are basically 4 characters in the book: Sniff, Scurry, Hem, and Haw. Now, it's a short book that you can read in probably an hour or less, but then because I know some people will be watching this for the very first time, probably be hearing about the book for the very first time, but I'd like everybody to be on the same page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a short video, right, that kind of summarizes everything it is that we'll be talking about. Well, that kind of summarizes what the book is all about. I think it's about a 3-minute video thereabout, and they give you an idea of what it is the book is about, so that it give you context and background understanding to what it is I'll be talking about. So today is day 6. We have been on this from the 2nd of January and looked at different lessons from it. So we're looking at the 6th lesson from that book today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play the video now. While I'm doing that, if there's anybody you feel should be a part of what it is that we're doing, please pull them in, your friends, family, share the link, spread the word as much as possible, whatever platform it is, they can join us from there. And we would like to know where you're joining us from as well. So right there in the comments box, just drop in the comments. Let's know where it is. I can see some people dropping their messages already. Fantastic. Just drop in the comments and let's see where it is that you're coming from, what you're joining us from rather. If you have any questions, you have any comments or whatever it is, just drop it right there in the comment section as well. All right, so I'm going to play the video now and I will see you right after the video. Bye-bye for now.
Who Moved My Cheese is about dealing with change in your work and in your life. Cheese being a metaphor for what you want in life. Everyone has their own idea what cheese means to them, and we go after it because it makes us happy. The maze in the story represents where you look for your cheese, or happiness. Your cheese is always changing, and you should not get comfortable in relying on your cheese to always be how or where you left it. In doing so will help you deal with change and bring you greater success, no matter how you define success for yourself. The 4 characters in the story represent parts of us, and it's up to you to identify which parts you are now and which you would rather be from now on. There's 2 mice, who don't overthink everything and just get on with life. Sniff constantly sniffs out the change and is ready for it. Scurry goes into action immediately without needing to know all the information. Then there's 2 little people, really smart people who've done well for themselves so far. Hem, he likes to stay in a safe familiar territory, and Haw, who's slow to adapt to change but is open-minded. Sniff and Scurry go out and seek new cheese every day. Hem and Haw comfortably rely on their past knowledge and experience and assure themselves the cheese will be right where they left it. Hem and Haw even moved their house closer to their cheese and built a social life around it. They became so comfortable they didn't even notice what was happening. Sniff and Scurry noticed the cheese was diminishing and that one day it wasn't there. But they were not surprised. They were prepared and knew what to do. The situation had changed, so they decided to change. They sniffed and scurried in search of new cheese. Hem and Haw had not been paying attention to the changes. They took it for granted and were unprepared. How could this have happened, they thought? Nobody warned them. They wanted to believe somebody moved their cheese and didn't want to believe that they had failed to notice it getting smaller and smaller every day. Hem's complicated brain and deep belief system demanded to know why this had been done to him. While Hem and Haw were busy worrying about what happened to them, Sniff and Scurry were already out finding new cheese in uncharted territory, and it didn't take long before they found new cheese and started enjoying life again. Hem and Haw remained bitter and angry about not having their old cheese, complaining how life was unfair to them. They got used to being comfortable and were now afraid to go find new cheese. They got stuck in a habit of doing the same things over and over again and wondering why things didn't get better. Eventually, Haw realized the cheese was never coming back and may have to face his fears and go find new cheese. He finally stopped blaming others and took responsibility for himself. After all, it is safer to search in the maze than remain in a cheeseless situation. As Haw enjoyed his newfound cheese, he reflected on past mistakes and realized nothing got better until he changed. He didn't like it at the time, but the change was a blessing in disguise. Hem was too stubborn, or proud, or just simply unwilling to change. Nobody knows what became of Hem. Move with the cheese.
All right, so you are welcome back, and that's a video, like I said, to explain exactly what the book is all about. It's a really short book, and you can get it for yourself to read it for yourself. So yesterday, right, we looked at the importance of embracing risk and fostering a culture of experimentation, and we talked about how it is important to take risk in life, but it is calculated risk. It's not just taking reckless risk. I mean, I want to talk a lot about that. If you want to find out what it is that we discussed, you can look at yesterday's videos. You have them there. You can get those details from them. So today we're taking it a step further, right, to understand that change, when embraced with the right mindset, can be a catalyst for growth. So the key thing about what we're talking about today is the right mindset. The right mindset. It is very vital. It's very important for your growth. So lesson number 6, enjoy change for growth. enjoy change for growth. Now, what is the mindset shift? Like I talked about, one of the key things that we're talking about today is the mindset. You need to have the right mindset for that. Now, a mindset shift is a change in perspective and attitude towards challenges and opportunities. While some people see challenges and opportunities as stumbling blocks, what you need to see them as stepping stones. I think I mentioned that a couple of days ago. I can't remember when it is I mentioned that. You need to see challenges as stepping stones. So when you are faced with challenges, you need to have the right mindset to it. Don't think someone put it there to limit me, or the whole world is against me. Everybody doesn't want me to succeed. Why would someone do this? Which was exactly what Ham did. Ham is one of those characters, right? Ham complained about everything. Why would someone move my cheese away from there? What did I do wrong? Why did I have to do this? That's all he did. He had a wrong mindset to it, and all he kept doing was complaining and blaming everybody else that his cheese had moved. Well, like the end of the story, you heard that we really don't know what happened to him at the end of the day. Now, so you need to have a change in perspective. Not everything happens because of you. Not everything happens against you. Some things happen as these things happen for you. Because if you see that a challenge is there to help you to develop different certain capacities, because every new level requires a new devil, requires a new challenge. So by the time you see a challenge right in front of you, embrace it, because that's an opportunity for upliftment. And then, what does it mean to enjoy change? It is the ability to find fulfillment and positivity in the face of a change. Now, whatever, despite the changes that are going on, find fulfillment in it. Find positivity in it. I know during the pandemic in 2020, a lot of people went through different forms of depressions and all of that, because it was difficult for people to grasp what was going on. Having been stuck in a place for so long, seeing so many deaths occurring and not knowing what to do about it, a lot of people couldn't handle that. It was a big change for people, but change is being able to, enjoyment of change is being able to find fulfillment despite those kinds of changes. So, embracing change is not just a necessity, but an opportunity for growth. It is an opportunity for you to grow. So that's very key. That is very vital. Enjoying change is not just about enduring it. It's about actively seeking the opportunities it presents. So it's not about when the changes are coming, oh, just sit and enjoy it. Oh, yes, I'm enjoying the change. No, that's not what we're talking about. It's about seeking the opportunities. In this change, what are the opportunities that are there? And that's why in the webinar on Saturday, we were looking at, like I said, strategic foresighting. There are a number of changes, right? But despite those changes, there are opportunities. You know, a lot of people are talking about the changes in technology, AI, and all of that is going to take jobs away from people. People are only looking at the challenges that the introduction of AI is bringing. But despite that, there are opportunities with the introduction of AI as well. So what you need to do is find a position where you are not just enduring the changes, you are constantly seeking opportunities from those changes. Now, as usual, I always give you a quote from the book. And today's quote is, "Smell the cheese often, so you know when it is getting cold." A lot of people don't smell the cheese. A lot of people don't pay attention. We talked about that. Was that yesterday or the day before yesterday? We looked at, being actively engaging your environment. Smell the cheese so that you know when it is getting old. Observe so that you know when the cheese is reducing. Sniff and Scurry observed that the cheese was reducing, so they were able to prepare themselves for it. Hem and Haw never observed that. They were just enjoying the cheese. So smell the cheese often so you know when it is getting cold. Now, I always give you an example of an establishment or an industry that does this very well. And what I'm talking about today is Microsoft. Microsoft has transformed its business model to embrace cloud computing, finding new opportunities for growth and all of that. The model that they operated when they started is quite different from the model they're operating right now. Initially when you were going to talk about Windows and all of that, they were selling CDs and selling packs and all of that for their packages and softwares. But right now they've switched to a cloud-based system where it's more of a subscription-based system rather than having everything on hard copies and all of that. They've moved to remote working systems, and it is because they are adapting to change. The world is changing, everything is changing, and they're enjoying the change and adapting to the change while it goes on. So enjoying change is a key driver for their success, which is something you need to learn from them as well. So very quickly, I'm just going to talk about how you need to cultivate this mindset for growth. Like I said, it's all about the mindset. You may not be able to do anything about the situation, but your mindset about the situation will determine how you attack the situation. So how do you develop this mindset? The first thing is mindfulness practice, right? Introduce mindfulness techniques to help individuals stay present during the periods of change, to stay focused. Whatever mindfulness techniques you use, I'm not here to talk about, whatever techniques it is to be present. Mindfulness is being present, being aware of everything, of your present situation and all of that. That's what mindfulness is. Taking yourself out of the situation to observe and see how you are in the situation. That's what mindfulness is. Now, encourage regular reflection on the positive aspects that the change can bring. Reflection is good. Gratitude. I talk about living a GAT life consistently. And what is a GAT life? GAT is an acronym for gratitude, appreciation, and thanksgiving. Gratitude, appreciation, and thanksgiving. That's what reflection can do for you. In every situation it is that you are, there is something to be grateful about. There is something that you should be appreciative of, and there's something that you should be thankful for. In every situation. So if you want to use that method, that's another mindfulness practice, right? Living a GAT life, deliberately seeking out opportunities for gratitude and appreciation and thanksgiving. So that's the first thing you need to do in terms of cultivating that right mindset. The next thing is you need to celebrate small wins. Don't beat yourself up. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. You've done one step today, celebrate it. The problem is sometimes we see people that have achieved certain things. So take, for example, I want to develop 6-packs, right? And I see this guy on the internet that has got really great abs and all of that. And he says, all you have to do is, spend 3 hours in the gym every morning and you will get the 6-pack. And then you go and then you do it today, you do it tomorrow. After 1 week, you don't see the kind of 6-pack he has, and then you give up and all of that. But you fail to understand that he's been doing that thing for probably 8 years consistently. You've done it for 1 week, you're not seeing the 6-pack and you're complaining. But if you've done it consistently, you did 3 hours consistently for 1 week, celebrate that. Acknowledge and celebrate your small wins in the times of change. It is important because it helps your mindset to seek opportunities to get better. It's what you seek for that you attract. Your mind has energy that it releases into the environment. So if what you're constantly celebrating is the negative aspects of things, you will only attract negatives to you. So celebrate your wins, no matter how small they are. Create a culture of recognizing efforts and progress. So what? You started a new business and you didn't make a profit. Celebrate at least you did not lose all the money you had in the first year. It is something to celebrate. There's something to celebrate at all times. So celebrate your little wins. A couple of days ago, I saw a post on social media, right? There was this artist, I can't really remember her name. I think it's a female artist in one of these African countries. she's quite a big artist, so to say, or maybe one of the big upcoming artists, right? And she was celebrating the fact that she got 4 new followers on, was it Spotify? And she came on social media and she posted it, oh wow, today we got 4 new followers on Spotify. And people were wondering, how can someone as big as this be celebrating only 4 new followers? And I said, that's the thing. They don't understand the concept behind that. When she's celebrating her small wins, she's focusing on the positives. And because of that, greater wins will come her way. That is a key that you need to learn. So celebrate your small wins. And the last thing I'll talk about today is your learning journeys. Position change as a learning journey rather than a challenge. Look at it as, it's like a puzzle. Oh, I need to solve this puzzle to get to the next level. When you're playing all these computer games and all of that, there's usually a level 1, level 2, level 3. At the end of each level, there's usually something very interesting, something very challenging that you need to solve to move to the next level. That's how you should see the changes when they come. Establish mentorship programs where experienced individuals guide others through changes. This is where you need, some people talk about it. Why do I need a coach? Why do I need a mentor? See, no matter how big you are, right, there's someone else that has done that thing or knows how you can achieve better results on that thing. Not necessarily someone that is better at you on that thing. That may be your mentor, but your coach is not necessarily someone that is better than you. Look at the best football coaches around the world. Most of them are failed footballers. Most of best football coaches are failed footballers. But how come they are failed footballers, but they know how to get the best out of footballers as coaches? Because they are failed footballers, what they did was they know how not to be a good footballer. They know the paths they took to get them to not be good footballers. That's how they can help other people to be great footballers. So when we're talking about establishing mentorship programs or coaching programs, realize that it is vital for your success. You need people that can objectively tell you the situation of things, because naturally your mind will only hear what you want to hear. But when you have an external source keeping you accountable, telling you things that you sometimes don't want to hear, that helps to propel you on that journey. And definitely, I can be your coach if you want me to work with you. There are several people. We have a program where we get to hold people's hands one-on-one to help them on that journey. And there are massive benefits or massive testimonies. You can go on our website and you see some of the testimonies, valuable, real people. These are people, probably you may know some of them. These are real people that have received massive benefits as a result of the coaching program that we run. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our webinar for today. You know, like I said, these webinars are not long webinars. They're pretty short webinars just to prepare us for what is happening on the 13th of January, 13th of January. So that's the flyer there. If you haven't seen it, if you have not heard about it before, all you need to do is register to be a part of that. Like I said, you need to register because it's going to be a closed room so that I can get the joining links. You can scan that QR code if you can, or someone should have dropped the link in the comment for you, or just do me a DM about any of my socials, wherever it is that you're joining us from. Do me a DM and I will be glad to send you the link. It's absolutely free, just in case I didn't mention that, right? This is the first major event we're doing this year. So just a way of saying thank you for working with us in 2023 and partnering with us again in 2024. We are giving this absolutely free. It's called Strategic Foresighting, a powerful and systematic approach that eliminates the path forward. So that's it for our webinar today. And I will be here same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. my time in Europe here. If you're in Western Africa, that should be probably about 8 p.m. your time. If you're in South Africa, that should be about 10 p.m. your time, if I'm not mistaken. If you're in the UAE, that should be about 11 p.m. your time. If you're in the United States, it should be about 1 p.m. your time. Whatever your time zone is, you can join us. Tune in once again tomorrow at the same time, and we'll be live with another leadership lesson from the book Who Moved My Cheese. All right, so that's it for me today. Remember, there's greatness on your inside, and the world is waiting for you to birth and manifest that greatness. Go out there and be profitable, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.
In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free webinar on strategic foresighting, hosted by Shui Agbida, the leadership growth enabler and learning and development specialist. Join us on Saturday, January 13, 2024, at 6 p.m. Attendance is free, but registration is compulsory. Start your 2024 on the right path. In a world that's changing faster than ever, each day brings new challenges, innovations, and global transformations. As we grapple with the exponential pace of change, the gap widens between what's happening, what's to come, and what we can do about it. But what if I told you there's a way to bridge that gap? A way for you to not just keep up but to thrive in this complex and dynamic landscape. Imagine a total mind shift, a breakthrough that not only connects the dots between future events but also taps into our collective humanity. It's a system view that doesn't just predict the future, it builds it, one innovative solution at a time. Ready to be part of something bigger? Ready to shape the future instead of just reacting to it? It starts with our free